So now at this given point P, you have to find out the what would be the shape function n1, n2, n3. So this is a question, and now we need to be find out that what would be the shape functions values of n1, n2, n3 at given point P. And here at given point P, the coordinate values are given. It is equal to 3.85 comma 4.81. So now it is possible to say that at node point 1, it is the value of x1, y1 is given. And similarly at node point 2, it is say that x2, comma y2, the values are given. And similarly at node point 3, the x3, comma y3 is given in the question. And similarly at given point P, let us assume that these values are called as a x, comma y, capital X, comma y. So at a given point P, so at a given point P, the values of x and y is given. So at this point, you have to evaluate the what would be the shape function n1, comma n2, comma n3. So let us try to solve this problem. Okay. So we know that one equation from the previous class, and that would be equal to the x can be write as as a function of the shape function as well as nodal coordinates. So therefore, at a given point P, at x can be write as it is a function of the shape function into nodal coordinate value at node point 1. Similarly, the n2 shape function into nodal coordinate value x2 at node point 2. Similarly, at node point 3, n3 and x3. So it is possible to write as the y is also can be write as at given point P. It is also a function of the shape function as well as nodal coordinate value in y direction. So that can be write as n1 y1 plus n2 y2 plus n3 y3. So using these two equations, now let us try to find out the what is the value of the shape function n1, n2. So it is possible to write as the x can be write as at given point P, it is given that 3.85, and that must be equal to the n1 into the x1 value from the given triangle, it can be write as 1.5 and 1.5 plus n2, because we don't know the value of n2, into x2 can be write as from the given triangle, it is a 7, and plus n3 is n3 into x3 is given, it is a 4. So this is a what is that a equation that can be possible to write down from a given triangle. So here it is possible to write as a, and if n1 is equal to the zeta and n2 is equal to the eta and n3 is equal to the 1 minus zeta minus eta. So this is a known things from the previous class. It is possible to know that if you express that shape function in a local coordinate system, therefore n1, n2, n3 can be write as n1 is equal zeta, n2 is equal eta, and n3 is equal 1 minus zeta minus eta. So therefore at given point P, it has both x directional zeta values and y directional zeta values. So in x direction, we know that that is equal zeta. In y direction, it is known as eta. So therefore, at given point P, you should find out the what is the zeta and eta values. Therefore, it is possible to find out the shape function. Let us substitute that n1 is equal zeta. So therefore, 3.85 is equal n1 is equal zeta into and what is that into 1.5 plus n2 can be write as it is equal to the eta into 7, and plus n3 can be write as 1 minus zeta minus eta into 4. And this can be simplified that, and if you have simplified this one, therefore it is possible to say that 1.5 times of zeta plus 7 times of eta, and plus this 4 can be multiplied with each and every 1 minus zeta minus eta. Therefore it is possible to write as 4 minus 4 zeta minus 4 eta. And also it is simplified that there is a zeta terms and eta terms. So therefore it is possible to simplify that 1.5 zeta minus 4 zeta can be written as minus of 2.5 times of zeta. 7 eta minus of 4 eta can be written as it is equal to the and 3 times of eta and plus 4, and that must be equal to the 3.85. And if you send this 4 to the other side, and therefore it is possible to write as and minus of 2.5 times of zeta plus 3 eta can be written as 3.85 minus of 4, and this would be written as minus of 0.15, minus of 0.15. So therefore, and if you multiply both sides with the minus sign, therefore it is possible to write as 2.5 times of zeta minus of 3 eta is equal to the 0.15. So let us say this as a equation number 1. So to find out the n1, n2, n3 values, the n1 is a function of the zeta comma eta, as well as n2, n3 is a function of the zeta comma eta values. So need to be find out what is the value of the zeta and eta. So if you find out the zeta and eta, therefore it is very easy to find out the what is the value of the shape function. And let us set this as equation number 1. Similarly, the y can be written as so at given point P, the y is given that it is equal 4.8. So this equation now let us try to write down here. So n1 can be written as it is equal to the zeta into y1, the y1 value is equal to the 2, because at given node of point 1, the y1 is 2. Similarly, plus n2 can be written as eta, and y2 is given in the problem, it is equal to 3.5, and plus n3 can be written as 1 minus zeta minus eta times, and y3 is equal to, here it is a 7. Y3 is equal to 7. So therefore, if you simplify this one, it can be written as 4.8 is equal to the 2 times of zeta plus 3.5 times of eta and plus 7 minus 7 zeta minus 7 eta. So if you simplify this one, 2 zeta minus 7 zeta become that minus 5 times of zeta, 3.5 eta and minus 7 eta can be written as minus of 2.5 times of eta and plus 7. And this is the thing. So it can be simplified again, that send this 5 to the other side. So therefore, and multiply with the minus sign. Therefore, it is possible to write as 5 zeta plus 2.5 eta can be written as it is equal to the 2.2. So say this as a equation number 2. So from equation 1 and 2, it is possible to calculate the value of zeta and eta, because here 2 equations and 2 unknown. So from this 2 equation to 2 unknowns, therefore it is possible to write down that the zeta and eta values. So the zeta and eta values I have calculated here as a zeta is equal to the, I would like to say it is equal to the 0.3, and eta is equal to the, would like to say it is equal to 0.2. Okay, if you take this 2 equation and if you multiply the 1 equation with the 2 and if you deduct that 1 minus 2, therefore you're going to get the zeta and eta values from this one. So if you know the zeta and eta, therefore I know that one n1 is equal to the zeta, and that must be equal to the 0.3 at given point P. Similarly, the n2 would be equal to the eta, and it can be written as 0.2 at given point P. And similarly, n3 can be written as 1 minus zeta minus eta, and this can be written as 1 minus 0.3 minus of 0.2. So this can be written as it is equal to the 0.5. So these are the values of n1, n2, n3 at given point P. So in the previous slide, we have calculated the shape function at given point P. Next, need to be focused that how to calculate the Jacobian matrix. So that is called J. So to calculate the Jacobian matrix, we know that the formula of Jacobian matrix for a CST element having a 3 nodal point, and those nodal point having a x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2 and x3 comma y3. So in a given problem, the x1, x2, x3 and y1, y2, y3 are given at nodal point 1 comma 2 comma 3. So therefore the Jacobian matrix can be defined as it is equal to the J is equal to it is a matrix of x of 1 3, y of 1 3 and x of 2 3, y of 2 3. So this would be the Jacobian matrix for a given CST triangle. So here I know that one x of 1 3 indicated that x1 minus x3 means that the coordinate value at nodal point 1 minus of coordinate value at nodal point 3, that is equal to in x direction. So therefore it is possible to write as a J would be equal to the x1 minus x3, and second one can be written as y1 minus y3, and third one can be written as x2 minus x3, and this y23 can be written as y2 minus y3. So this is a known formula. Now I know that one each and every coordinate value, that is called x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3. Just if I substitute it here, therefore it is possible to write as the x1 minus x3, x1 is equal to the 1.5 minus of x3 can be written as 4. Similarly, y1 minus y3, y1 would be equal to the 2 and y3 is equal to the minus 7. So therefore x2 minus x3 can be written as x2 is equal to 7 and x3 is equal to the 4. And similarly y2 minus y3, 3.5 minus thus y3 is equal to 7. So this would be the Jacobian matrix, and it can be simplified that 1.5 minus of 4, it can be written as minus of 2.5. And next one is a minus 5, and third element can be written as it is equal to the 3, and next last element can be written as it is equal to the 3.5. So this would be the Jacobian matrix for a given CST element. Next one is a need to focus that next question would be the det of J. So the determinant of J. So the determinant of J can be written as it is equal to the x of 1 3 into y of 1 3 minus of x of 2 3 into y of 1 3. So this is the things AD minus B. BC. If you have that A, B, C, D as a 2 by 2 matrix, then det of that matrix can be written as AD minus BC. Using that formula, it is possible to write x13, y13 minus of x23, y13. So therefore, the det of J can be written as x13 can be written as it is equal to the minus of 2.5, and y13 can be written as it is equal to the minus of 5. So minus x23 can be written as it is equal to the 3, and this is a y23. So y23 can be written as it is equal to the, so sorry, just wait a minute, and this is equal x13 into y of 2 3. This is y of 2 3 and x23 into y of 1 3. So this is a formula. So therefore it is possible to write as the det of J is equal to the x13 can be written as it is equal to the minus 2.5 into y of 2 3. Y of 2 3 nothing but it is equal to the, it is a 3.5. So minus of x23. x23 is nothing but here x2 minus x3, that is equal to the 3, and into y of 1 3, that is equal to the minus 5. So this is the determinant of J. So this can be written as 2.5 into 3.5. So 2.3 into 3.5 you have to multiply, and here 3 into minus 5 you should multiply. This can be written as it is equal to the minus into minus, and this becomes that 5, and 2.5 into 3.5 this can be written as it is equal to the so minus 2.5 into 3.5 would be equal to the 8.75, and 3 into minus 5 become that minus 15, minus into minus become that plus. So if you have now simplify this one, therefore you will get the Jacobian matrix as a 6.25. So if you know the Jacobian matrix det, the data of Jacobian matrix. Therefore, the next question, possible question in this case is that fourth one would be you should find out what is the area of triangle. Area of triangle. So the area of triangle A can be written as it is equal to I know that one from the previous class, it is equal to half into data of J, half into determinant of J. So here the determinant of J can be written as 6.25 and into half, and this would be equal to therefore it gives that value of 3.125. So this is a value of the area. This is a value of the area. See here, just now we have calculated the area of the triangle. So the area of the triangle is determinant of J. So here, and a small correction, 3.5 minus 7 become the minus of 3.5. So here, if you do that one, you'll going to get the debt is equal to 23.75. You'll get the debt is equal to 23.75. So therefore, the 23.75 divided by 2, you're going to get that area. So the area of the triangle would be equal to that is equal to the 11.875 mm square. This is the area of the triangle. So once you know the area of the triangle, and you should focus on to how to calculate the stiffness matrix. So here it is very important to calculate what would be the stiffness matrix. We know that one for a simple element or simple CST element, the stiffness matrix would be equal to the area of an element, that is equal to CST element, and thickness, that is equal, thickness of the element into area of an element into the B transpose matrix. We know that B is equal to the strain displacement proportionality matrix into the material property matrix D and into the B matrix. So to calculate the stiffness matrix, you should know the thickness, area, as well as B and D matrix. Let us try to find out one by one. Here, the thickness is given in the problem. It is equal to the 1 mm. If thickness is given here in your problem 1 mm, and as well as the Young's modulus is also given, it is equal to 70 gigapascal, and Poisson ratio is given that it is equal to the 0.3. So this is the data given in the problem. So now in the previous slide, I have calculated the area. So therefore area of an CST element, it is nothing but 11.875. And how to calculate what is the B matrix, as well as once you get the B matrix, therefore you have to calculate the B transpose, as well as you should calculate what is the material property matrix D. So if you know these two, B as well as D matrix, therefore it is possible to calculate the stiffness matrix for a given CST element. Let us try to find out what is the B matrix first. So the B matrix can be written as, I know the formula, the B matrix. In the last class, I have expressed this B matrix as 1 by data of J, 1 by data of J, and that must be multiplied with a 3 rows and 6 columns. So that can be written as it is equal to the y of 2, 3, nothing but y2 minus y3 and 0. And next one is a y of, it is equal to the y3 minus y1. Y of 3, 1 is nothing but y3 minus y1, 0. And next one is a y1 minus y2. And last element would be the 0. This is the first row matrix. And the second row can be written as 0. And the next element x of 3, 2. That is nothing but x3 minus x2. And next element would be the 0. And the next element x1, 3, that is equal x1 minus x3. And next element would be the 0. And last element would be the x2, 1, that is equal x2 minus x1. So this is second row, 2 rows I have completed. Next, third row would be right as it is equal x of 3, 2, that is nothing but x3 minus x2. This is the first element. Second element would be the y2 minus y3. and third element would be the x13. So x1 minus x3, and next element would be the y3 minus y1, and last two elements I would like to write down due to the space restriction, and I can write as this is equal to x21, and last element would be the y of 1 2. So x21 is nothing but x2 minus x1, y of 1 2 minus y1 minus y2. So therefore the B matrix can be write as, I know that one, and data of J, I have calculated that the data of J is equal to the 23.75 and into the 3 by 6 matrix. Now I'm going to write down the straight away the values. So here y2 minus y3, that is equal 3.5 minus 7, and it become that minus 3.5, and next element as it is 0, and the next element and y3 minus y1 can be write as 7 minus 2, and that would become that 5, and next element would be the 0, and the next element would be equal to the, it is equal to the y1 minus y2, that is equal to 2 minus of 3.5, it becomes the minus 1.5, and the last element would be a 0. Similarly, I would like to finish that each and every row. So the row is equal to 0, minus 3, and 0, and minus 2.5, and 0, 5.5. And similarly, the third row can be read as minus 3, minus 3.5, minus 2.5, and 5, and minus 5.5, minus 1.5. Because I know that one each and every x values as well as y values, just you have to substitute that there. Therefore, you're going to get this matrix. So this is the B matrix. So once you know the B matrix, therefore, it is possible to transfer this into the rows and columns. So therefore, it is possible to write down this B transpose matrix. B transpose matrix. So in the next slide, we're going to write down the B transpose. So once you know the B matrix, it is very important to calculate the B transpose. How we are going to get this B transpose? Just you have to transfer this rows into columns. See here, this is a 3 rows and 6 columns. Therefore, once you transfer the B transpose matrix, you are going to get 6 by 3. So that I would like to write down here. The B transpose I have written as, I have transferred this rows into column. The first row I have written that first column. Second row I have written that second column. And third row we have written that third column. So therefore, I can write as it is equal to the 6 rows and 3 columns. This would be the B transpose matrix. The next one is you should focus on the what is the material property matrix, G matrix, material property matrix. So this material property matrix can be defined as it is equal to the D can be written as, okay. So the D for a plane stress condition. Let us consider that here. It is not given in the problem. So now I would like to consider this is a plane stress condition. Plane stress condition. For plane stress condition, the D can be written as it is equal to the material property matrix Young's modulus divided by the 1 minus mu square into 3 by 3 matrix, that is called 1 mu 0 and mu 1 0 0 0, and last one would be the half of 1 minus mu. So this would be the matrix, and here in the problem the mu value is given 0.3 and Young's modulus is given that 70 gigapascal. Okay, 70 gigapascal. Then you have to write down in this Newton per meter square. This can be written as 70 into 10 power 3. So 10 power 3 Newton per meter square. Okay, so this can be Newton per mm square. So this can be Newton per mm square. So you have to substitute there. Therefore, D can be written as it is equal to the D matrix can be written as E is equal to 70 into 10 power 3 divided by 1 minus mu square. Mu is equal to 0.3. That would be whole square into 1, and mu can be written as 0.30, and mu is equal to 0.3, and this would be 1 0 0 0 half of 1 minus 0.3. So this is a D matrix. So at this point of time, I know the what is the value of the D matrix and what is the value of the B transpose, what is the value of the B matrix. So therefore, now this is a time to define, what would be the stiffness matrix. The stiffness matrix for a simple CST element can be written as thickness T into area of an element into B transpose matrix into D matrix into B matrix. So here the thickness is, I know that what is a 1 mm, so write down 1, and area can be written as it is equal to the, have calculated that the area of the given CST element would be 11.875 mm square. Now I know that B transpose matrix, which will be, it is equal to the 6 rows and 3 columns, and the D matrix I have calculated, and that would be equal to the 3 by 3 matrix. And I know the B matrix that I'll have calculated, that is equal 3 by 6. Now at this point of time, I'm going to give you one task to you. You should multiply that, the T into A already known, B transpose also known, and D matrix is also known, and also B matrix is also known. Just you have to multiply, therefore you're going to get the stiffness matrix that would be equal to, now I would like to tell you what is the range of the stiffness matrix. The stiffness matrix range would be equal to the 6 by 3 into 3 by 3. So if you multiply these two matrices, because B transpose matrix is known and D matrix is known, every value is known. Just you have to multiply these rows into columns. So therefore 6 by 3 into 3 by 3, you're going to get this matrix as a 6 by 3. So again 6 by 3 into 3 by 6, therefore you're going to get the 6 by 6. So therefore the stiffness matrix range would be the 6 by 6. So this is the value of the stiffness matrix for a given CST element.